Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have the buffed XIN ZHAO with added AP ratios on his passive healing and obviously that 3-hit passive AD ratio getting a 15% increase at max level. So that's nice, yeah. 2% increase in the win rate already. Obviously that will stabilize, normalize, adjust, and all the other ISs. But also the audacious charge, despite the typo in the pre-patch notes. No, that's not gone from 12 seconds to 1 second, that's 12 seconds to 11 seconds. A little bit of placebo there, but with a bit of haste in your itemization, you know, that goes down to a serviceable number whereby you probably get a few rotations in long drawn out fights, or 2 rotations. Obviously the added range when you hit your W. So let's make sure we are showing ourselves how to play XIN ZHAO in the correct way. Runes would have been in your screen, as you would have seen. There is a live companion.gg guide to explain to you how to play this champion with different builds. This game will obviously have Core Drinker. Amazingly, when I searched high KDA builds on the first day of the patch, it was just Korea. There was like 1 in NA, none in EU West. So, you know, good for us. We get good Korean jungling, aggressive Korean jungling, which is exactly what you want to do with this champion. If you're piss farming, stop it. Okay, Red Raptors obviously makes you like this much HP, which is sad, and Season 13 will make you feel better because, you know, it's healthier to clear. But for now, Buff Grump will always be a better 3-camp variant, even if Red Raptors Grump is a better 3-camp variant for everybody. Catch my meaning? Now, we are going to go Gold Drinker this game. Eclipse is a juicy build. There are other variations like Stride Breaker. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. Or Trinity Force even. There is some Essence Reave attack. For the Savants. Yeah, for the Savants. Later the Ruined King as well. All of these items are now looking different. Our stance looks like it threw up on itself. The Blade of the Ruined King looks like Virkayu got jealous that we were building it and claimed it for himself. And the Essence Reaver looks like it's got some form of disease. I don't really know, but we have a Vi showing up here after doing what we'll press tab and see as 16 CS with double buffs. So we know most likely she did a blue side into a red buff, or she could have done a 4-camp minute clear if she's dumb. No, she did a blue side into a red buff. And now we have nice gap closing material. We have a 3rd strike passive heal coming through there. The knockup as well. Beautifully done using all of I love seeing dead Aatroxes. So that was great. Okay, nice use of his power curve and showing you with the fully stacked Conqueror, the 3-hit passive active, the knockup, the gap close, the spacing that it allows you to use. He's a strong duelist. And now, even though the base AD ratio here hasn't shifted and the base healing hasn't shifted, the placebo buff on the base cooldown of the E, and that as well in your mind, it's like when you're driving by a lane to gank it and they kill the laner with you trying to get the assist, and you're like, kind of have an assist, you know, you can do your Star Trek memes, but hey, they just felt confident with you there. And that's what a placebo buff can mean. It's just like that extra second doesn't really do much, but when it does something, it's juicy, but it also gives you that in your mind, like, hey, it's going to be out more often. Now, we'll get more into the buffs as we get more into the game, but in terms of game style, yes, buff, grump, gank, counter gank the Vi. Obviously, she does the 4-camp at the same time. Kill her, kill the top laner, kill your top laner. Move on down to take the top scuttle, rotate to the mid lane for that free gank. Vi shows up, apparently trying to steal your Raptors. She now has 23 CS, so she definitely got that crap plus some of your Raptors, maybe left a baby behind. How annoying, but we kill her too. And this is the perfect example of how to play this champion. 3-camp action, push the enemy jungler out of their jungle, control the rivers with a potent aggression, and if they're counter jungling you, you just kill them. Like, you want some technicalities and some more explanation? You kill them. Now, you see, I can't, because that's exactly what you're meant to do. If you're not able to fight people and kill people, 1v1, 2v2, then don't play this champion. Okay, this is not a Mundo where I can say, look, maybe I'm a little weaker early, I'm going to farm and get strong. No, you are strong now, and you want to snowball so that you can get all those level leads ahead of everybody else. Now, TP, flash, burn. Do we think about things such as, I gotta get my sequencing to clear this up here and to take this, and then, no. Dude's pushing, I kill this dude, I shove this out. Now, you could fall back to the Grump and the Wolves, which I think we should, because even though we have a lot of gold, we kind of want to float bottom side now. Why? Because we want the dragon. And we know Vi is most likely going to do the dragon. I clicked, but you see there the W over the wall. That's the original change we had well over a year ago. It is well over a year ago, right? Yeah, must be. Okay, so second spawn Grump. Downside with this playstyle is if you don't get things going, okay, if you're not using your Q appropriately, if you're gap closing too soon when they have the dash and now you can't actually get your Q off, then you're going to have problems. So if you can approach the lane properly, you get your Q off, and then of course you can use your WE afterwards as a flash or dash. So just depends on the nature of the mobility in the lane. In this case, we have a Gangplank with oranges, we have a Victor. They're both reasonably easy to gank for XIN ZHAO. Now, Vi does what Vi does, which is, well, that was a terrible early game, so I'm gonna do a dragon. And you can kind of go, well, c'est la vie. And even though you're wearing the Dragon Slayer skin and now you feel a bit thematically pointless, it's okay, there will be more dragons. So you don't have to worry too much about that. Now, 3 points into don't max E, max W. Kill a baby. Now, the nice thing about Season 13, to keep this relevant for you in the future, is that those camps, this can't happen. This will despawn magically and automatically. So once you've killed the big monster and you walk away, it despawns. So here we're going straight for this officer. We're going to hit this W because we scan and see the Vi. The Azir does the Faker and just delivers us an absolute beautiful Beluga Caviar Pate. And then we kill the Victor. And then we chase away the Vi. We shove her out of the river. Good use of the scanner again. Immediately that W does connect. And then we go and take this RNG Scuttle. We smite and kill. She's going to try and kill this. That is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. Now we see, look, this guy's pushing too. And then you just go. Oh no, it's a Heimerdinger. He's trapped me. That champion, wow. You could clear that, but I mean, I'm stuttering because I'm like, if you do that, then you die. So a little bit of restraint on that. Fall back to our tier 1 Krugs just to make them off the map. Remember as well, the medium Krug will split into 2 babies as normal, but the big Krug will not split into 2 mediums in Season 13. It will just split into copious amounts of tiny ones. So if you prefer WoW and farming helpless monsters with ease, just, then that's great. No micro mechanics required for Krugs anymore. At this point, we have an Aatrox that's very, very low. The flash committed from the Gangplank just to avoid that W suck, but Vi showing up with some anger. Did you have to, though? Did you have to smite him? I feel like that wasn't entirely necessary. I love this. I love this when you're ahead. This is so good when you're ahead. Can we double kill this? I love it. Because typically in lower Elas, they won't really push you. One will come into the river, you just kill them first, right? Which you do, and then you can kill the top laner afterwards. But in this case, she is helping push. So you see that nice little third proc on the W knock up there, and then we activate our ult just to create some spacings, and we kill him as well. The Vi is in a bit of a precarious spot, I feel like. Yeah, that ward gives her away. She's... So she went for the Q flash, and he just hits a WE like immediately and she dies. So that's a lot of damage because now we got 4 and 2 here. So this is at 10 seconds. Let's monitor the CDR, shall we? Remember, haste is important in these kinds of things. And 1 second might not feel like a lot, but in those kind of situations where there's definitely like 20, 25 seconds in a scenario, 30 seconds, if you can get 3 rotations versus 2, if you can get 4 rotations instead of 2, it depends on the ability and the champion, but you know what I mean? Like more rotations of spells is good. And so from this, we fall back to the Void Beetle. We give her some justice, and we say, the Void shall not return. Aatrox goes back to the top side here and says, I have a skin. They all look the same to me, that skin. Absolutely all look the same. It's silly. We're not talking about the old skin and pretending it doesn't exist. He looks like a gummy bear that was designed by someone who had too much ecstasy in the 70s. I'm so disappointed. No. And that's exactly it. You see that. She cues towards someone, sees the XIN ZHAO, says, oh, and then she cues the other way, and he saves his W, hits the W, hits the gap close there. We've got our Q back up again, little knock up from the Aatrox, thank you, sir. Double kill. This is a kind of, it's not difficult, right? It's not difficult. It's auto attacks, using your heal passive, using that bonus damage proc you're getting from the AD ratios, using your Q and your WE gap close intelligently. You've basically got these 2 aspects of your kit, and you can always poke around with a W. It's not like you have to take the E, right? It's just a case of maximizing all of that as much as possible. Now, where are we at here? Baseline 9.17 seconds baseline at this stage. So, yeah, I feel like it's nice. I'm focusing on it because that's our mobility, right? That's the mobility we get here. The AP ratio stuff people are talking about, a good elevation of the game state, obviously. The AP ratio people are talking about on the passive as well as W. And the E, obviously. You know, I I think it's definitely going to have some kind of Nash's tooth implications where it's going to be some off-meta viability. But the fact of the matter is, you've got such a high AD ratio now on that passive that why would we need the anemic healing from it to sustain ourselves in a fight when we can just absolutely ass blast any other champion in the game with such high ratios? And obviously, when you're focusing on auto attacks here, you know, it's physical damage. This is obviously going to be better physical damage. And every time you're auto attacking someone during spell downtime, AD, right? Not AD from my Lakers team, because I miss Kobe. So what we do here is we go back to base. We finish our goal, the Drinka. Vi goes to the bottom side. We do miss that W, that extended range. Looking juicy. This thing is collapsing down through the river there. And we're kind of shadowing because we want to fight over this. I feel like we're strong enough that we need to fight over this at this point. Our bot lane, by the by, has the AP ratio Misfortune and is showing us exactly what happens when people just play things because they were buffed, inting, and building like an absolute buffoon. And, you know, just walking to the river here, we have the zoning of Faker at this point. That's who that is. It's not a zero anymore. And Aatrox has decided, hey, thanks, buddy, for the help top lane. Can I help you secure this? One more auto. Thank you. He's stacking his Eternals, I suppose. And here we go. Vi's doing that blue. So you can either go and fist her or decide to fist this guy. He does flash the W, but we're going to use that E anyway. Did he hit it? No, I don't think so. Anyway, or did he? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Hit it. Try and hit it. Make sure you get that gap closed. Oh, he flashed. It's been a long day. I'm not even going to edit this out. I'm going to keep it in because I wanted to release a main channel video. You know, the sad reality of being the jungler. I know, exciting, right? And the blue screen happened and then some effects didn't go through. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to save it for tomorrow. But that was a long day getting that ready. So I'm just recording this as like a filler content in terms of my mind. Like I wanted to get it out anyway, but I was like, oh, I should get something out today for sure. So there you go. That was so smooth. My mind didn't even register that he missed the W, just flash E'd. So there you go. We all have slower moments. It is such as one gets older. Most of you little rats will learn these things. Apologies if you are also a more senior citizen rat like myself. And from this, ideally we want plates into shove because it's pre-14. This isn't a game about the highest damage. And I think that's the biggest thing about this. In the match history, game history that will be linked below, it's not about having the highest damage. It's about having the highest impact. And that impact doesn't always mean you're going to have the highest damage. Right? There were different metrics. There are different metrics by which you can track your game impact. Hers is inting. Yeah. Hers is hardcore inting. Victor, in the meantime, oh, this poor guy. Another one down. I mean, I would have snagged the assist, but again, like the game impact here is when you have a good team, Flex 5, Clash, Normals, whatever, it doesn't really matter where you're playing, and you can get your team ahead and they know how to use that lead, you're not necessarily going to have to fight as much, right? And in high elo, you can kind of have those same games, but at the same time, this Misfortune, oh, this is trash, she's just running it down. You're going to have to carry this game, but it's about the critical damage you do, the important damage you do, not the total damage you do, because people can do 80k damage and be absolutely pissed useless in a game. And that's the thing. How many times have you seen someone mid lane, you know, like 2, 6, and 5, and then flame you at the end of the game when you have 20 kills that you couldn't carry? It's like, I did 80k damage and you couldn't carry it. It's like, all my damage was lethal. I got kills from it. From this, we got objectives and map pressure, deep wards, and subsequent advantages. And you just wave cleared and poked, and it didn't lead to anything. So it's not always as cut and dry. After this, we've pushed the mid lane tower a little bit. We've snagged that. We've got the Aatrox pushing the top lane. The Heimerdinger is warding and zoning. We're going to fall back and take the RNG Scuttle. The Misfortune's mid lane most likely going to die again. We're going to fall back to our camps here because we're at 2200. So we definitely want to go Drinka into the Death Dance. Now, if you're going Eclipse builds, again, you can still do Black Cleaver. You can still do Death Dance, Blade the Rune King. There's a lot of item variation. We're not going to focus necessarily on those things in this video. Just that Gold Drinker Death Dance is an absolutely standard, good old-fashioned combo. In this particular case, do we have issue gap closing onto teams? No, because we are XIN ZHAO, we have the W of the E, where you can always get onto people, and our ult allows us to insect and create positioning advantages as well. Now, against a very hyper range comp, then yeah, the Eclipse is always going to be better, and I do suggest you go for it because the Gold Drinker active is not going to provide you a lot of utility. The HP is nice, but again, you can go your Black Cleaver, you can go your Death Stones, you have still a lot of fighter things, Guardian Angel as well as more Mortiers. There are a lot of cool things you can go. And, you know, you can also go Stride Breaker into those comps. There's someone in Discord who likes to spam Xin Zhao, and he went Stride Breaker today with a bit of a Gurren tech in the Frozen Heart, and it looks ridiculous. Sounds ridiculous. And you know what, it is ridiculous, but it works. The champion has a lot of item versatility, so you can find a good combination that suits your playstyle. And I've put as many as possible in the ZHAO GG guide, and there are lethality alternatives as well. But the whole point and principle is if you can get to 16 minutes here, up 5 kills, 15 to 10, you yourself are fed multiple levels ahead of the enemy jungler, which is the goal. You are an assassination threat. Look at this. This is exactly what we want to be, the assassination threat. You have Dragon, at least a Herald or two, and now you're starting to siege and push into the mid game. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Because at the end of the day here, all right, we had to burn our ult there. We got a little bit trapped. Nice flank though. We got a little bit trapped. Here we go. Be careful. Cautious and intelligent. I mean, we're only up 3.3k gold, you know, and it's not 5.5k, but it's something where with a Victor comp and a Jhin comp and a GP comp and hybriding a comp that can be a sticky wicket for us. So keep that lead pushed. You're not a late game champion. Keep pushing up as much as you can. She she's I mean, she for a second was like, and then she died. So try not to die yourself. Just maintain this river control, enemy jungle control, fall back to your dragons, especially this one. This is one sexy dragon. For Xin Zhao, this is what we want. Let's have a look at our E. At the moment, 7.75. So that's nice. That's pretty good, you know? We'll snack that up, but we could go ahead and kill the Gangplank. I'm a little bit worried about, there you go. They see the Vi comes down the map there. You got to always, that's why I'm looking at the map here. You got to see this stuff. See, when I don't know what happens in these games and I'm in real time, and then I start looking at the map like I normally would. I don't always click because, you know, you guys pay to see the champion. Hey, he did a good job. He used his lead. How nice. And now a little bit of waffling, but we can also term this, what I call it, shadowing. And now you sound like you're an intelligent jungler who isn't just waffling. You're a smart jungler who's shadowing a potential fight that is about to arrive because you're too lazy to farm, you don't want to go back to base. And it's kind of damn obvious, isn't it, sometimes? So, shadowing, yes. I'm memeing it, but it is a good thing. This is exactly what you want to do. I'm memeing it, but it's exactly what you want to do, and I'm glad it's actually working out here. You could go farm your camps, but you see there's a darkness, and the Vi came down here, and you know he killed the top lane, he's going to push up to this. And you know that if you do this and the Vi flanks, he's going to die. So why don't we just trap here, wait for this, and bait for it? And if the Vi does flank, then we can kill them 2v2, which is exactly what he did do. Nocturnes, when you have a Nocturne against you, same kind of thing. Chill, Nocturne thinks, aha! And then you kill him. For using that disgusting ultimate. I had too many games against a Nocturne last week. Like, I think I had 6 in a row. And I destroyed the Nocturne every game, and he just pressed R, and I couldn't see anything. My laners couldn't see anything, and it's fine. He's fine. It's like one of those. When you see a champion too much, you just get sick of it, you know. Anyway, so that's good. We pushed this up a little bit back to base here. We're now going into the Sterax again. The buffed Sterax means you can afford to go to it third. Well, that was annoying. The replay died. 90 minutes. I could no longer watch anything, so I had to go to the Korean website for replays and snag it from there, but it took a while to load, so I don't know. Riot's API is always a bit... So, right, out of base after that split push bot lane, for me it's been about 25 minutes to get this to work. For you, it's been instantaneous. The Vi is for some reason sticking her hands, your giant hands, in a cookie jar, but they don't fit, and there are no Aureos for her. Only an Aatrox is going to hit that and just... Ooh. She dies anyway. So what we wanted to do here is kind of cut in towards and push. In the meantime, the enemy jungler, enemy laners have made an overreach, so it's always imperative that you do the destruction of their souls when they do that. Don't let them get away with it, especially when you have such a big lead. I see it too often. They're like, yeah, I need to just break even on these camps, and like there's a fight in the river. Just rotate, kill them, shove. And that's all you really want to do. Here we do have the Azir Tower we can use. I mean, this game still goes to 25 minutes, right? Because again, the gold lead wasn't that astronomical until recently, until the bottom lane shadowing plays, which... Unfortunately, I chose as a time to meme it when it was actually a very good time to shadow. So we collapse into that. We have no inhibs at this point. We still have 2 inners. So we're just going to go straight into the Baron here. I do like that as well. Your team can afford to finish this themselves. We might as well start this up. We do have 80 ratios on a passive plus some healing. So you can actually do quite a good job. Now, if you go like a squishy bulk build, I'm sure there's enough sustain that you could do this reasonably well, but I'm not quite versed in XIN ZHAO solo dragon escapades. Again, I don't recommend necessarily soloing it. You only need like 1 or 2 people with you at this stage. But again, this is what you're noticing from a lot of the videos recently. The ones that, you know, scaling jungler, early game jungler, mid game jungler, it doesn't matter. Ahead, behind, it doesn't matter. What we're trying to do is get to a point where we can take an early Baron. All right? It gets out ahead of the soul conditions if we're against it. It allows us to capitalize on the soul conditions if we have it. And it also allows us to bust open bases against scaling comps where we just struggle to kind of, you know what I mean? Like really break open the game. And that's a bit of an issue sometimes. It's important that we are able to do so. You know, take the Barons, that is. Because if you can't bust this open at all, and you're just wandering around like an idiot, and you could just do this because you've pushed them out of the map, and, you know, then you lose one fight, you get picked off, and they get it, you just lose the game the other direction. So please, as an early game jungler like this, like a XIN ZHAO, just use any pick potential after 21 minutes, ping your team, say, let's go, and if you go to Draven, yes. And if they can do it with a 0-7-1 misfortune, I believe in you. Now, we see goods down, and the benefit of this nonsense is we could usually take our red buff, but at this point, it looks like it's been stolen by a hamster rat. So we're going to say, good job, Aatrox. Can we hit this over the wall? We almost couldn't, so we make sure we flash get it. We do. We get the knock up here. We're going to keep chaining together. Nice little finish there. We use our ult as an extra damage spacer. And Aatrox does die. Now you're seeing the Jhin, the range, the Heimerdinger, the Victor. You know, when you add it all together, it's a lot of damage. And I do think that Sterak's gauge just came in mighty big. Mighty big. So you can obviously go the more. I think here more is wholly justified, and a GA. Now, if you're really far ahead and you have the Baron and you like, look at this, he's not overcommitting here because he knows she's up in 10, 11, the Vi. The Gangplank is up in 8, Aatrox is up in 14, but Zir's there and we'll want to reset. Like, there's no point forcing this. What are you really going to get? Let's just go ahead and do this dragon. You, sir, have been knocked up. And I don't know why he's face checking a fed XIN ZHAO to try and steal Hextech Dragon. Just let it go, my guy. Take this, push this out. I don't know. And I know we know what it's like to have ADCs that do that, but at least he's 7-2-2 and trying to do damage. And we have a 0-7-3 Leandri's Manamoon Misfortune. Vi says, I can do this, and the very long, girthy range of that W says, no. We see the timer here. He won't have the timer until it respawns, but yeah, look at this. 3 levels up, live in the quadrant. This hasn't busted open the way I thought it would either, which is great. Because this is definitely more of the slow to close, methodical, pounding against the enemy base, getting all the objectives you can, stealing all their camps, because as long as you steal the camps and do those things, you can fall back to your camps, you can clean them up as you need, they just don't get anything. And if you don't take an inhib earlier to give them free supers, you just don't let them get resources. They can't farm their camps, there's no waves to take. All they can do is overcommit to kill a split pusher, which always happens 99 times out of 100, and our bottom lane is split pushing here. Whoopsie. The Azir Faker combo, nicely done. And in the meantime, XIN ZHAO is, you know, he's not finishing his grump, right? He's rotating to this immediately because he knows he can definitely show up here and kill. We have here the BF Soul plus a stopwatch to be used. We're not going to chase the Jhin because he's too that far that way. The XIN ZHAO combo, you know, only for memes, please. Turn and kill the person closest to you, and now we can move up. We can hit this W, maybe, please. Yes, we can do it. Nope. He's too fast. He's just too damn fast. He's got the boots of swiftiness. And now the Gangplank comes out of base and says, hello, would you like a keg? And Azir says, not in the desert because we need water, no alcohol. And he dies for this. Rotate to the mid, take the inhib, bottom inhib. I don't know, my mind's gonna I lost my mind trying to find the second part of the replay. I thought, I didn't get one video out. Am I not even gonna get a gameplay out today? Is it that coast? But thank you to the Korean replay website, which I had to relocate. And very nicely done. Strong, potent, nice base healing buff, nice cooldown on the E, which, you know, at this point we're at 6.21 seconds. So that's great for stretched fights and conditioned fights. And conditioned fights, translation error. I mean, like fights that are long, conquer fights. Words. ZHAO GG guide link below. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. Don't forget, coaching is available on Patreon as well as coaching VODs for your end of season goals. I will have all the season 13 content you need to subscribe to this, like this, and same for the main channel. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial. I hope this was a tutorial.